Hasn't the Supreme Court, though, ruled pretty definitively that these district judges cannot impose national injunctions as they were pretending to do, pretending
They
to do?
they have made rulings to that effect. Often these rulings take days or weeks to happen, and if you're a president, you get 4 years. Each day is a large percentage of your total ability to get anything done. So the fact that we see this recurring pattern of injunctions and the Supreme Court's not taking more decisive action to discipline the lower court judges and tell them, look, you can't do this, not for 5 minutes, not for 5 days, you just can't do this at all. We're not seeing that sort of full stop.
Well, they're really usurping the power of the presidency, are they not? And, federal judges, they've never received a single vote in their life,
Yeah, I think a lot of us
except
find
for
it
the
very
guy that
strange.
appointed them.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't get any votes. They didn't run for president, but they still want to run the Oval Office from a courtroom, often by interjecting themselves into things that are clearly presidential powers under Article 2 of the Constitution. We used to see more judicial decisions where they'd say, this is just not a justiciable item. This is beyond our jurisdiction and authority. It's an executive branch matter. These days, judges seem more willing to weigh in on these matters, whether they should or not.
Well, Justice Comey Barrett wrote a scathing opinion about the judge that tried to enjoin Trump on one of his executive orders. Um, and so I'm hoping that it is reflective of what the court's pattern will be in the future. I mean, Trump got 77 million votes. I think that should count for something. I'm sure you do too.
Of course, I think we elected a president to run the executive branch, and he should be allowed to do so. Whether it's what the court agrees with or not, they need to stay in their lane. The judicial branch does not control the executive branch.
Well, I mean, it sets up a huge constitutional crisis, does it not? If these district courts are allowed to impose their own bias on the president, the duly elected president of the United States, and so I think the Supreme Court recognizes that and does not want to bring us to a constitutional crisis, and that there is in fact a um, rule of the court that the court will not rule in the case where they do not have the power to enforce their order or that it would likely not be followed.
Yeah, that's certainly the general principle, and we don't want to see a constitutional crisis because if the Supreme Court, fails to intervene with some of these district court judges and their unconstitutional orders, they leave the president in a situation where his only option is to either give up part of the power of the presidency unconstitutionally to the judicial branch and accept a pointless defeat, or to ignore that court's order, which will have the left screaming on the news about a constitutional crisis